George, it just felt like the fastball was the bread and butter for you today. Just how did it feel for you today?
Yeah, was commanding it really well, using both off each other really well, and I just really felt in control today, which was awesome.
George, the last couple outings you've been frustrated. Did you just wash them? Did you do anything in between thinking about it, or just simple as go back to attacking?
Yeah, I had a lot of stuff going on this week. Just trying to figure out how to get back to just my game and not worrying about stuff and just having confidence and just go out there and compete and stay in control. That's the only things you can really do. So it's kind of what I focused on today.
Did you talk to anybody? Did you talk to Byrne about it, or is it just within your mind yourself?
Yeah, I reached out to everyone I could possibly imagine just to just get some confidence back. So worked it this week.
It seems because you have you've always had an identity of who you are as a pitcher, the strike throwing, whatever. Has it ever been wavered like this, where you didn't maybe trust what you were doing out there like that it's been?
Yeah, you kind of just go through the motions. I felt like today I was just really locked in. Just taking a breath before every pitch and just really having a lot of conviction on everything I was throwing today. So felt really good.
Everything the starting rotation has gone through this year in terms of injuries, it seems like there's been really a focus for you guys coming back and now late in the season of just moving forward, getting back to what you were. Just how good was it to see the performance that all of you put up during this homestand?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we're 8 or 9-0 right now, last whatever. I think everyone's just feeling that energy, and everyone wants us to go out there and compete and keep it going. The Astros and the Rangers are never going to go away, so we just got to keep pounding, just keep attacking every day, and I think that's what everyone's doing right now. So just really cool.
Charged out there for the 7th. You got your strikeout. Do you think he might let you get 15? I mean, you're already there. Or would he tell you, no, you're coming out after this no matter what?
Yeah, there was like a little miscommunication there. But yeah, I wasn't supposed to go back out. But I'm glad I got the strikeout. Whatever. I just I didn't know, so I went out there and just did my thing. So.
Did that sort of work out at the end? Because it seemed like you were pretty ticked at yourself. It was a hat tip home run it was a well executed pitch that he hit out, but you looked annoyed about it. So did that
sixth or?
Yeah, at the end of the sixth. In the sixth.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to let it bother me. It's really what I was trying to do today, is not let anything bother me and just go out there and compete and just stay confident. So.
But at the same time, you were able to go back out and just end on that dominant note.
Yeah, of course.
How did it feel? That's 42,000 giving you a standing ovation.
Sweet, yeah. Yeah, I wish I tipped my cap or did something cool, but either way, yeah, it's just awesome. The fans, this last homestand, and always the energy's been awesome, and it's just anytime you go out there, just compete, have a good game. It's awesome to see the fans in it, and they show you some respect too. So it's cool.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, George. Well, great way to end the homestand. Great way to end the series. Just kind of an exclamation point here today. Offensively, just so many good things up and down the lineup. You can look at a lot of different things. Bottom of the order really getting on base a lot for the top of the order. Top of the order being able to drive them in. Great at bats, grinding out at bats, getting some walks. Cal hitting that 2-run homer to set the stage, kind of really was kind of a statement piece for sure. Ball was crushed the opposite way. It was just a great piece of hitting right there. And then the rest of the offense able to take over from there. Julio with some tee shots, and just again great at bats up and down the lineup and creating a lot of traffic and getting them in. Is just awesome today and offensively. And then George was as good as we've seen him. I thought the fastball was really good today coming out of his hand, and it was just good velo to it, good location to it, commanding it very well. We saw some curveballs, we saw some sliders, all the secondaries that he had good ones today that really accentuate that fastball as we talked about, and handing it to the bullpen, more zeros from them. Just a great ball game up and down, and a good one to obviously continue to take this momentum and take it on the road with us as we go.
Dan, with Cal in the season he's having, the pressure seems like it has been mounting for a while now. The home run derby and just so much attention, the MVP debate and all that stuff. Just how have you seen him handle that as sort of he's hit these milestones and benchmarks, and just what's kind of kept him grounded for?
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that I've seen from Cal that's been very impressive is just his ability to kind of shut those things out, especially at game time, and really focus on the task at hand, and has just kind of continued to push, and it's been as we've talked about, it's been pretty consistent role here, and I thought today's at bat, just staying on that ball and driving it the other way was just a great at bat, and that just shows you where he is, but his ability to handle it all, and to do what he has done offensively, to do what he does defensively, to do what he does with our pitching staff. Again, you just marvel at all the things that he's accomplishing, and on top of that, making history, and as we've said before too, just in a very humble way. That's the kind of guy he is. He just wants to win, and that's where it all comes from. That's the driver, and we've been able to do that here at home, and take that on the road.
Was it George lobbying to go back out there in the 7th, or was that your decision?
A little miscommunication there. He wasn't supposed to go back out, but he got one more strikeout, so good for him. But that was nobody's decision really. It should not have happened, but he was able to go out there and continue what he had done. He just threw a great ball game today, and one that. I think he definitely will draw some confidence from.
Once he gets out there, if he runs to the mound, right, he has to stay for one batter.
One batter, yeah.
The fastball command today, just like Cal was saying, it's a simple thing, but it seems to set up everything else, make everything else a lot different.
Yeah, I thought he attacked the zone. He got a lot better counts today, and when he gets ahead, again, we've talked about it. The hitter gets in a little bit more of a swing mode, and he was able to attack with the fastball, with good quality fastballs, get ahead, and then at that point you're able to use whatever you want to use, and he had good secondary stuff as well. So again, I just thought the mentality that he had out there today, the way he attacked, that was vintage George, and great to see at this point in the season.
You guys have obviously been so good at home here. Just what are you seeing from these guys right now that gives you the confidence you can take this on the road?
I think it's just our determination. It's just the drive that these guys have, and we know what's in front of us. We know what needs to continue to happen, and these guys have a way of doing it. And what we've seen here night after night, I think their preparation, their mindset at game time has been impressive, and that's what's going to continue to need to happen. And I think that's what they'll do when they get out on the road too, and we'll be ready to go.
Cal talked about a looseness right now. Is that a tricky balance this time of year? Again, talk about pressure, but every game there's a certain amount of intensity you got to have. But how do you find that balance of being loose and playing free, and knowing that every pitch is potentially pretty big?
Yeah, I think it is a tricky balance, but these guys understand that balance very well, and they're at a point where they're feeling confident, they're feeling loose. And they're ready to go. They've put the preparation time in, and when it comes to game time, it's just time to go out and let it go and let it play. And that's what they've been able to do here at home. That's what they'll continue to do on the road as well.
We talked before the game about the stretch that Polanco was on, and we've seen him have really hot stretches, but just the consistency he's putting in now, more doubles today. Just what have you seen from him over this last stretch, just how he's been able to consistently get on pace in the fashion he has?
Yeah, I think today, just being able to use the opposite field, that just shows you where his approach is at right now, and he's just been locked in. His at-bats have been so good. You can't beat him in, you can't beat him away. He's just in a really good spot, and right-handed as well. And so, he's just a tough at bat. He's a professional hitter, as we've said before. When he's seeing the ball well like he is, hits are going to come, and he's hitting the ball on the line. He's hitting it hard. And that's the mark of a good hitter, and that's he has produced so much for us there in the middle of the lineup.
Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Congrats, Cal.
Thank you.
What does it mean to do it here at home in this setting with these fans?
It's just cool, cool to do that. Nice. Obviously, fans are great, and we love them, and to do it in front of them, obviously, to get those cheers are super special. So, yeah.
Did it feel like it was getting close? I mean, you'd had several balls to the wall here in the last couple of days. Do you feel like you were right there?
It is what it is. It's baseball. So, try not to think about that too much.
When we think about the all-time greatest switch hitter in baseball history, it's Mickey Mantle. Obviously, to have your name next to him right now, just does that make it all the more meaningful and special?
No, it's crazy. I remember going to Yankee Stadium, played hooky. My dad took me out of school. He took me to the old Yankee Stadium, and we did like the whole day there. And we went to like their, I don't know, like a gift shop. There's a bunch around there or something, and he was telling me about Mickey Mantle, teaching me, he's like, you could be like him, switch hitter. And I remember he got this like plaque or something. It's like a card or something, but it's really cool, and we still had it. So it's kind of, thinking about that, like I remember him talking about him like he was a god, and which he was. I mean, so it's kind of cool to be to think about that time and back then. So
How old do you think you were?
that was 7th grade.
7th grade?
Yeah, he wanted to take me before they closed down the stadium. It was the last year. They were playing the White Sox. Griffey was on the White Sox at that time too, so it was kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. You've always been a switch hitter, right? Like that was just kind of boring. He would kind of go back and forth with you. That's all you've really ever known, right?
Yeah, there's never been a day that I haven't, not switched it. So I've always done it, and it's a unique thing. You don't see a lot of it, obviously, but really cool thing that I'm glad I did. So
Was there ever a day when you didn't want to do it, like say, screw it, I just want to hit lefty or just righty?
no, I mean, obviously as you get older, you go through, times where you hit better from one side or the other, and it's basically how it's always gone, But I've always committed to it, and have had great support, and from coaches and everything. They've always let me free to do it, and never have questioned me with it. So it's been great, and obviously my dad being the biggest help and support for that was huge as well. Always making me commit to doing it. Yeah.
Cal, would you be here if you wouldn't have just said, you know what, I don't like being kind of platooned, and I want to be able to hit right-handed in games too? Because for a while there was a lot of reason they had other guys, but you were only playing, left side mainly. I mean, you kind of made that decision. Would you be here right now without that?
Yeah, and I'm super happy that I got that opportunity. Obviously it took a while, so it's part of how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you got to earn your stripes, and you want to be able to go out there and prove you can do it. And once I got that opportunity, I took advantage and committed off seasons and time and effort to continue to get better on each side. And it also it takes reps too. You gotta be able to get those reps, and I was lucky enough to eventually get those, which are huge. So yeah.
As these milestones have kind of come along the last couple of months from you, 40, 45, obviously beating Salvy's record, getting here, is that, I don't know, does it weigh on you at all, or what's been your process for sort of like, blocking some of that out and just going out and playing?
Yeah, in today's age, it's hard not to, go on your phone, people talking about it, texting you about it, it's kind of in your face everywhere, so it's been there, trying to do my best to block that out, and I'm just like I said, I'm glad that we have something bigger to work towards, and it could always be worse. We could be, just playing unmeaningful games, but we're playing, meaningful games, and at this time of year, which is a lot of fun, and we're chasing something bigger than that, which makes it a lot easier for me, for sure.
This is
Do
the
you think that
latest.
helps at all this year with the team doing what it's doing and the team what it is? Has that helped you at the plate?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it helps me because I can go out there and just compete and, try to help the team however I can. I'm not trying to, go out there and try to hit homers or trying to, break a certain record or anything. I'm just trying to, help the team out any way I can. And, it's usually the best course of action anyway is, not worrying about that stuff and, let that stuff kind of take care of itself on the side, so.
On that note, you guys have had good homestands in the second half. Just what was special about this one, pulling off the 2 sweeps and then ending it by taking sole possession of first place in the division?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big week. Obviously, with seven games here, right? We got all of them, so it doesn't happen very often. So it was a good stretch, good going into this road trip. At the end of the day, it doesn't really mean anything. We still got some work to do, and we haven't locked anything up. Nothing's guaranteed, so we got to go out there and keep playing good baseball. And but definitely a good week overall. I don't want to put that to the side. Got a lot of good outings from our starters this week, which was huge, and look to kind of keep that rolling in Kansas City.
Obviously, when you put your name with Mickey Mantle, that is going to draw a certain amount of attention, but you passed another record as well too, the Javi Lopez record. So just for you as a catcher and knowing how much pride you take in that, how meaningful is that to you as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's a great thing, and yeah, I mean, it's cool. So I'm very, I don't like to, I don't mean to downplay it at all. It's a very awesome and meaningful thing. But just keep going and, see where we get at the end of the year. So
12 games to go. The Mariners are in first place this late in the season for the first time since 2001. Just what gives you the confidence in this group that you guys can kind of push through the finish line here over the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, we got the pieces to do it. You heard Garver the other night. We got the pitching, the defense, the lineup. The deep lineup to do it. So we've had guys that have been here before. So, I have a lot of confidence in these guys and the rest of the clubhouse. We've been playing loose, we've been playing free, which is good to see. And it's just continuing to do that. So I think a lot of these guys are you can see they're kind of they're free, they're loose out there. We're playing with nothing to lose, and that's kind of the mentality we have to take. And you can't go out there and try to play tight and try to play not to lose. So I think we're doing a good job of going out there trying to take it, and you saw that this week for sure.
What'd you see
Cal,
from
is that a
George?
product of the winning, or was there something that kind of provoked you guys to loosen up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously a tough road trip beforehand, and you just get to that point. I said it last week. You get to that point where you just say, screw it. Go out there and play. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff. Whatever happens, happens. Sometimes we try to micromanage. We try to take control of certain outcomes, and baseball's just a game where you just gotta go play, freely, nothing to lose, and go out there and whatever happens, happens. And, if you put your best foot forward, you play hard, you do things right, usually good things happen. So.
See from George today?
George was good. He had really good command of the heaters. That first time through the order, was really, very efficient, and, had that sinker going on that, glove side, outer lane to those righties, and then was able to, hit that top rail with the 4. I think he did a really good job with that. Mixed in some off speeds, which were good, but for the most part, it was the bread and butter with the fastball game with him, and big bounce back from him after a couple tough ones. So it was a big game from him, and he pitched great.
At the end of the day, isn't that the simplest thing? Fastball command makes everything a little bit easier for a pitcher if you can command the fastball.
Yeah, I mean that's where it all starts. Especially this staff. It's liking to establish the fastball, and locating it. When you can do that, you can really set up your other stuff with it too, and that's what you saw today from, I guess the last 2 days really, or 3 days with Bryce, Wu and George, they really established the heater and located it, and were able to, throw some off speed off of that to keep them guessing. So, yeah.
Thanks, Cal. Appreciate
See
it.
you guys.
There you go.
Can I be done?